Buffalo wings are the most pure and beautiful form of the chicken wing. Spicy, tangy, buttery, and sauced well enough to coat your fingers and lips in their orangey goodness. Could the first sauce in my wing series be anything but buffalo? No, of course not. This is Winging It, and this is the ultimate buffalo sauce.
I covered this topic in depth on my first wing video, but I prefer baked wings to fried wings at home, and the best way to get them crispy is with a little coating of potato starch. Check out the first episode for a full rundown, but the short of it is that baking powder leaves a weird taste on the wings, and potato starch doesn't. You also don't really have to do any measuring if you coat them in potato starch, so the process itself is pretty much foolproof. In my opinion, potato starch is king for crispy oven roasted wings. If your wings come whole, you'll need to break them down like I'm doing here. I like to bend the wings at the joint to find where I can make the initial cut. There's a bit of cartilage where the drum and flat connect, so you'll have to put a little pressure on it to break them apart. Same thing with the flat and the wingtip, bend them to find the cut point and then make your cut. Obviously, it's easier to buy them split already, but my grocery store only sells wholes or just drums, and who in their right mind wouldn't want flats? That just feels like a crime. Once split, I like to put them in a bowl and toss them with salt. This is roughly a pound of wings, and the sauce will make enough for 2 pounds, so I'll have a little bit left over, but I don't need to eat 20 wings right now. Simply coat them in enough potato starch to have each wing very lightly coated. The salt is going to draw out moisture that's going to hydrate the starch, and then the hydrated starch coating will begin to fry in the oven when the chicken fat begins to render. It's truly a beautiful thing. You can set these on a sheet tray with a wire rack and then turn the oven to 425 Fahrenheit convection. It's helpful to place a little water on the tray to keep any drippings from burning. Also, if you had Pam, you could spray your wire rack and keep the skin from sticking. I never do, and it's pretty much fine. I like to wait to set my oven temp until they're on the tray, that way the chicken has enough time to hydrate the starch. Set those in the oven once it's hot and set a timer for 15 minutes. We'll cook these for 45 minutes in total and we'll flip them every 15. This is enough time for the skin to get crispy without the meat overcooking. While those cook, we need to tackle our ultimate buffalo sauce. And to do this, I need to take a quick aside to discuss the right hot sauce for the job. I've got a feeling my choice is going to make some purists very upset.
Frank's is fine. It's way milder than I want it to be, and it tastes like it's only hitting the back of my throat with kind of like a vinegar cayenne flavor, which is, it's fine. This is a classic. Ooh. Louisiana gets in your nose as well as like the back of your throat and your tongue. So you're getting vinegary, you're getting a lot of tang, and you're also getting a fragrance that you don't get with Frank's. Frank's is just kind of like, tastes like vinegar with a little bit of pepper in it. Not very much, it's much more buttery. Louisiana is like pepper flavor, plus a little bit of vinegar. It's tangier and it's spicier. This is super contentious. Roast me all you want. I know I'm in the minority here. To me, something like Louisiana or Crystal is the way to go for buffalo sauce. The classic is Frank's, but I don't think Frank's is right for this. I think when you mix Frank's with butter, it tastes too much like butter. You lose almost all the heat, and the butteriness of Frank's on its own gets lost in the butteriness of the butter. They're the same flavor, and so they're not really adding to each other. Even going through the ingredients of these, just if you'll indulge me. For Louisiana, aged peppers, distilled vinegar, salt. That's it. Peppers, vinegar, salt. Frank's, aged cayenne peppers, distilled vinegar, water, salt, and garlic powder. What I'm hearing from that is that this is watered down, which kind of tastes watered down. I don't know, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills when I tell people that I don't like Frank's. It's so bland, especially after having Louisiana right next to it. This is like, it's no competition to me. So for me, the ultimate wings start with Louisiana pepper sauce. Love you, Louisiana.
I want a sauce that's spicy, tangy, and really well seasoned. If I use Frank's, it's simply not going to be spicy or tangy enough. There are so many ways you could pump up the savoriness and flavor, and these are the ways I like. White sugar allows us to balance the spicy saltiness without overpowering the hot sauce flavor. Vinegar ups the tang that's already in the hot sauce, but without it, the sauce just feels a little flat. Cajun seasoning brings saltiness, and the Italian herbs are a nostalgia throwback to wings I grew up eating. I made that sauce in my tenders video a few years ago, so you can check that out if you want. For our dry seasoning, measure out half a teaspoon of white sugar, half a teaspoon of Italian herbs, a full teaspoon of Cajun seasoning, a few shakes of garlic powder, and a few shakes of cayenne. At the 15-minute mark, take your wings out, give them a flip, and get them back in. This was my second flip, so this is the last 15 minutes. Measure out half a cup of Louisiana hot sauce and add 1 teaspoon of white vinegar to it. To finish our sauce, add your wet and dry mix to a pan over medium heat. We want these to combine and for the sauce to start bubbling. It's nice to let this reduce slightly because that will lead to a thicker sauce that sticks to the wings a little better. Once slightly thickened, turn off the heat and stir in 3 tablespoons of cold, unsalted butter. Turning the heat off allows the fat in the butter to slowly emulsify into the water in the hot sauce. That basically just means you won't get greasy streaks of butter in the sauce. This stuff is beautifully spicy and flavorful, not too hot in my mind, but could easily be made milder with the addition of 1 more tablespoon of butter. Totally up to you. Our sauce is done, the wings have come out of the oven, and oh boy, it's time for them to be tossed. I think you'll be surprised at how well these wings stack up to fried ones. They stay considerably crunchy for a while, and I'd put this sauce up against any bar or wing joints. For the coating of the sauce, I don't like to drown my wings in it, so use as much as you need to get them coated without leaving a puddle in the bowl. Devour these with ranch if you'd like, but to me, I'm a purist. In my mind, these are at-home wing perfection. The right amount of heat and cayenne flavor without overpowering the chicken itself. The chicken isn't overcooked, the coating is crunchy, the sugar and the vinegar help make the whole batch more craveable, so you just want to keep eating. They're so freaking good. Give these a shot for your next wing night.
In my very biased opinion, these are about as perfect as a homemade wing could get. They are not fried, so you don't have to worry about dealing with fry or oil. They're still crunchy, and that's from the potato starch. These have been out for probably about an hour or so as I take B-roll, and they're still crunchy and delicious. The potato starch also helps more of the sauce kind of cling and stick to the whole wing. The sauce itself is really, really balanced. You want that spicy Louisiana hot sauce to be balanced and pulled a little bit sweeter with the sugar and then a little bit tangier with the vinegar. It's punched up by both of those things. They are my ultimate wing. One more for the road.
Now, if you want to see me make the crispiest chicken cutlets, check this video out right here. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all my supporters on Patreon. I really, really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments down below what your sauce of choice is. Cheers.